Eternal reoccurrence, the philosophical idea that the same events repeat endlessly. While doom scrolling on the YouTube homepage, a particular video caught my eye, Archive 4. I clicked on the channel and was shown this page. Let's get the obvious stuff out of the way. This channel's username is this, obviously a simple cipher, shift 19, and we get the archive. The description is also encrypted in a rather simple encoding, shift 19 again, and we get it must be archived, everything and all. All of these videos seem to follow a pattern with their titles and thumbnails. Well, most of them. These details give me a feeling of what this might be about, but as of now, I believe we should first watch the first video, Archive 1. The video starts and it's just an image slowly zooming in. Looking at the bright side, this is less work for me. The image seems to be a screenshot from an Xbox. It's night, raining, and the situation seems to be some sort of meeting, I suppose? Judging by the hotbar of Doom organization, we can know that the player who took the screenshot is using the faithful 32x texture pack. We see a total of 6 people in this screenshot. Our Pov, the Master, this person whose name starts with KMO, the person holding the non-enchanted shield behind KMO, this person sitting higher up in front of everyone else, perhaps some sort of leader or important figure, and finally, this player with an orange hoodie. This person has no armor and seems to be directly in front of the maybe leader, unlike the rest, who seem to stand in the sidelines. This leads me to believe this is some sort of trial, where the guy in orange is getting tried, while the person sitting higher up acts as a judge. I didn't notice the subtitles were on, likely because I was watching YouTube in public and my headphones were dead, but I think I'll spare my faulty charger for now, because this revealed the message hidden in the subtitles of the video. This is up to you to reveal. Like any good analyst, I checked the description. The main 3 things are the phrase, where it all begins, the same cipher from the description of the channel, and a strange collection of triangles. Took me a few minutes of thinking, but I quickly figured out it was Morse code, and after a bit of tinkering, I determined that upward facing triangles are dashes, while triangles facing down are dots. A single space between a group is to separate letters, and 3 spaces separate words. Using this key, this code turns into "they are watching." There's also this link, but I wanna go over that later. The next video is Archive 3. Yeah, there's no Archive 2. The format is very similar. It's a static image and also has copyrighted music like the last video. Yeesh, this guy must like Akira Yamaoka. The hand, UI, and texture pack is the same from the last video, so we could assume this was taken by the same person. The description says Snowflake found it, so we can assume Snowflake is the town we are seeing in the image. The map is the same, but if you pay attention, you'll notice that there's only 5 player markers. This is weird since we know there are 6 people in the previous video. If last video's hotbar was weird, this one might as well be a puzzle on itself. The description has the same code from the channel description again, the playlist link which we will continue to ignore, and another triangle code. Using the same key as last time, we can turn this into "they control." 1, 3, skip a few because some way the channel decided to make Archive 10 next video. This video is the first that doesn't seem... Oh my god, these fireworks. This video is the first that doesn't seem like a screenshot because we don't see any UI. We also see this person looking toward. They have what appears to be a wither head and netherite armor along with an iron sword and a command block. I'd like to note that the sword shows that this likely isn't the same pop as before because it doesn't look like the faithful architecture for swords, which are more detailed. In the distance, we can note the tall, slender tower and the triangle shape in the sky. After some editing, you can also note that there's a few houses in the surrounding hills. The main thing that confuses me about this image is the arms. They seem too slender, and the white color makes me think of skeleton arms. The description says "a final sunset", along with the description code and the ignored playlist. We also get another triangle cipher, you guys know the deal. This one turns into the the soide the key? I genuinely redid this like 4 times and I always got the same thing. At first, I thought it might be a typo, but could it be? All past ciphers were written so deliberately. Makes me doubt that the person behind this would mess up what appears to be the most relevant part of the sentence. For my own sake, I'll drop this for a while. Oh, wait a minute. One of the items in the hands just revealed something. I'll give you 5 seconds to guess. Nope, it's not the world-breaking, command-allowing weapon of doom, but instead the iron sword, or rather its positioning in the left hand. As most Bedrock users know, you can't hold swords on your offhand, and since the last 2 videos were from Xbox, aka a console, then this server is on Bedrock. This means that there's either a glitch, the server is crossplay, or something else entirely. The next video is pretty different. This is one of the archive recover videos which has a different thumbnail as to the archive videos. Opening, we get an amethyst building of a inverse capital T. It seems to be from a phone or something of sorts recording a screen where Minecraft is displayed because it's awfully shaky. However, we still seem to be seeing this from the same pub, since we can see it's an Xbox, and it uses the same texture pack. The video features 3 people hanging around the structure. You can see 2 of them, Blood and Stink Bomb. To what seems to be a voice chat window, we can see there's someone called Fear Connor. You can also notice this person that seems to be far from the group. With these clues, we can know that Connor is either our puff or the person away. I noticed a few strange things about the background. There's azalea trees, but they seem to have broken trunks, kind of like acacia trees, but natural azalea trees don't have this feature. Pluto seems to have a scoreboard marker called Siege Legend 0, and for some reason, their only armor is enchanted netherite boots. There are some weird holes, like these 2 lines or this cross shape in the background. The description says recovered archive, along with the usual. In the next video we see, oh there goes Snowflake, moment of silence. Okay, so, as the description suggests, there was some kind of battle that destroyed Snowflake. The holes in roofs and floors suggest that there were explosions involved. Again, thanks to the UI and texture pack, we can assume this is from whoever made Archives 1 and 3. There's also what seems to be a grave in the back, suggesting that someone died in the battle. And for some reason, some of the stairs that make up the roofs are now warped wood, which I didn't really see back in Archive 3. In the more nicely organized hotbar, we see an enchanted compass. For those who don't know, if a compass is enchanted, it means it's linked and pointing to a lodestone. Maybe the direction it's pointing to is a clue? Recover 3 isn't holding a map, but Archive 3 is, and we can use this as a reference. Fun fact, locator maps always show the person holding the map as the white locator in the overworld, so we know this marker is where we're standing. Due to the altitude in Recover 3, we can assume that we're on this ice stack over the hill. So, since we are facing the ice almost at front, we can assume we are facing about this direction in Recover 3, relative to the map. So we can assume that the direction the compass is pointing to is roughly about this. But even with the compass direction, we still don't know why there was a battle. Maybe it was revenge from the orange guy after getting found guilty, or something else. The next video presents a similar setting. We seem to not only be in Snowflake again, but also in about the same position. The main difference is that this video seems to feature Snowflake during its construction, since we can notice that most of the houses shown in the previous video are missing here, but the ones that are in good condition. We can notice that there's a player inside of the house, but it's too far to identify. Once again, it seems to be from the same pub. You know, Xbox and Faithful. This video is a pretty dry one. The description only says recovered archive, the recurring cipher, and the playlist. Yeah, the most concerning thing about this video is that they're holding the sword in the ninth love of their hotbar. The next video is archive recover 2. We see a player, Deathshot, approach the group. This confirms that our pub is indeed Connor. Deathshot, like Pluto, also has the Siege Legend 0 marker. Deathshot starts at the... wait a second. The amethyst at the bottom edges of the structure are now budding amethyst. But this isn't possible. You can't pick up budding amethyst, not even with Silk's touch. That shot mines the... Huh? The amethyst, and I mean the normal one, didn't drop. It should've, unless that shot is in creative? Is a siege marker for admins? If so, then Pluto might have pulled out the budding amethyst from creative and put it there. On the topic of amethyst, the amethyst bud growing level is 2, and it takes an average of 34 minutes in real life for a budding amethyst to grow a cluster of this level. This means that there is an interval of 30 to 40 minutes between recover 1 and recover 2, assuming they are continuous. We suddenly see this force breaking blocks very quickly. It seems to create a path of holes approaching the group, but not quite. If you pay attention to the hole's path, you'll notice it had the chance to get literally anyone else. In fact, it twisted when it approached Deathshot as if avoiding him, and made sure to only go for a pub, presumably Connor. The next video is archived for an... Whoa, that's kinda new? This video is visibly unlike the others. It's black and white and also cropped at the edges, blocking the view of the coordinates or hotbar. We are in some kind of room with 9 clocks, yes I counted. There's a sign that says time is ticking, which is also what the 23 shift cipher from the description says, along with the usual code and playlist. We seem to be holding an immortality totems. The lines are way too thick for this to be faithful, and since we don't see the Xbox UI, you could infer this is from a news perspective. Believe it or not, what I found most particular about this video is the background music, and this time it's not for copyright reasons. This might be wrong because I did run this song through a detector that might have gotten confused by the editing, but this song features an edited version of the Russian song which I couldn't pronounce correctly after 5 tries, sorry, but in English means "Don't Leave Me to Die." All previous songs were usually Ost music from games like Silent Hill or Minecraft, so if you think about it, it's pretty weird for this channel to suddenly use a Russian emo rock song. My best guess is that we're supposed to look more into the title than lyrics, since the song's general symbolism seems to be about 2000s Midwest Russian culture. So I'm guessing the real message is someone trying to say the title, "Don't Leave Me to Die." Maybe to the viewer, maybe to the person who took this photo, who knows. The description of Recover 7 says a losing battle. Guess what we're about to see? This video starts in a pretty intense note, featuring a fight in Snowflake against two withers. Once again, the UI and texture pack suggest this from the same person who recorded the past few videos. In the chaos, we can see this person. I think they're armorless, hard to see because this looks like it was recorded in a discounted eBay phone. Near the end, a wither blows up our pub, making them fall down a staircase, and then the video ends. Right before the cut though, you can notice the camera tilting down, revealing the bottom border of the TV. Wish I could tell you what it says. Hey, Hedera Alo here. After looking back at the footage, it's a Spectre TV. Probably one of the budget options. Also, it could not be a TV, it could also be a monitor, a PC monitor, so keep that in mind. Archive 8 goes back to the static image format. Now presenting what seems to— Hello, Editor Alu here again. I'm cutting this part out. I don't care. This is 3 whole minutes of me over-explaining the most basic stuff. You wanna know what was in Archive 8? This was this image. That's all. Some towers, a path, nothing else. I'm not gonna keep editing myself over-explaining basic stuff. This video and most of the videos in this channel are a nothing burger, and I've been squeezing footage out of them because I already have the script planned out. That's the only reason I keep doing this. That's the only reason I'm finishing this video. Hopefully the next video is better. 1 hour and 8 minutes. Who in their right mind made a video this long? Archive 0 is pretty peculiar. It's over an hour of staring at the static image of a building. The description features a hexadecimal code that translates to a construct of reality. There's 3 hexadecimal codes hidden through the video. I have to thank Astro Astrid a lot for finding them. The first code at the 10th minute says "Wake up." The second code at the 21th minute says save us, and the last code at the 38th minute says save us from H. Also, around the 1 hour and 8 minutes mark, we get this image of what seems to be a hall. But let me tell you a secret. This isn't the first time we see this hall. This is the same hall from the channel banner, as we can see the same leaves and pot at the edges. So, this video leaves us with questions. Who is H? Who is the us that wants to be saved? What is H doing to them? But, like most videos in this channel, this is very cryptic. Hopefully, watching the last public video, which is finally appropriately timed, will give us some answers. This video starts in a seemingly flat world, no inventory, health or hunger bars inside. Once we get close to the pyramid, we see it's made of some really weird dark block. We approach this wall and our pop pulls out what seems to be a tic-tac-toe. Oh, never mind, it's a key. We enter through the doors and... huh? From the outside, you'd think that the room inside this place would clearly show the shape of the ceiling, but instead, we enter what seems to be a fully normal world that even has clouds. This also seems to be the same place we saw on Archive 1, even with the glitch effect. We walked into the facility and... okay people, video name idea, finding an electricity bill that doesn't exist. Or torches that don't exist. Anyways, we walked through the facility and we can notice a few things like rooms with iron doors, a kitchen, and holes in the walls. When we open this chest, we can see a few things in our puff's inventory. There's a 3x3 grid, 11 wood blocks, a used axe, probably used to mine the wood blocks, a crafting table, and a triangle. We find this disc, and if you pause, you'll notice that the center is a black triangle. Playing the disc, we hear this.
I know what I've seen. I'm not crazy. This place isn't what it seems. I can't even remember how I got here, but what I do know is that he's done something to my memory. This is so much bigger than what it seems.
After that, we pick up what seems to be a lever and keep moving. We cross a few more weird rooms, like this open empty one with a triangle on the wall or this one with a cage. We suddenly stop at the hall, and when we walk down it, the video cuts. May I remark, this seems to be the same hall from Archive 0 and the banner. This video is probably one of the most insightful ones. The rooms and the kitchen suggest that this is some kind of prison or holding center, while the holes in the walls let us infer that there might have been a breach. The description has shift sizers that say, "All roads lead here. I know what I have seen. I am not crazy." Also, this video seems to be the only one that doesn't link to the Archive 11 playlist, but instead links to a playlist with only the pyramid video. The playlist name is a cipher that echoes to the pyramid. How insightful. And on the topic of playlists, we can finally check the playlist we've been ignoring since the very start. Once again, it's called Archive 11 and it features most of the videos we've already seen, but in an order different to that of their posting. If we use this order chronologically, we can order the events as following. First the meeting, then we see half-built Snowflake, then finished Snowflake, then the battle and aftermath, after that the first part of the Amethyst build, then the second part, then the clock room, the fortress, and the final sunset. We can see that 13 videos? There's only 12 public videos. Oh, the creator had an unlisted video here. Clever. The video opens to a black and white image of a valley with a tower in the middle. There's some strange looking mountains surrounding the setting, and it's either dawn or dusk. Wait, Archive 10! The video was during a sunset, showed the tower, and had acacia trees, which you can see in the background. And we can also see the same triangle shape looming in the sky. Maybe there is some continuity to these labels. The video shifts to another image closer to the tower, and then glitches into the white screen with a triangle shape that we can see in many of the thumbnails. The video begins glitching, and for a split second, you can see this text at the bottom saying, See File Not Found, Archive 26/7. During the glitch, we also briefly see zoomed in shots of the tower but much darker. Right before the video cuts, we see the subtitles. Shift, it becomes, "This is so much bigger than you think." The description has another cipher that goes into the word all. Along with that, we get a link to a secret playlist, which name is just a triangle. This playlist might explain the chronological order of events and... Wait, if the pyramid video isn't here, but there's 13 videos, that means there must be another secret video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Oh wait, we never see a 5. Archive 5 is the second secret video in the playlist. The whole video is an image of the top of the tower, which I'm guessing is the same one from Archive 11. This seems to be made out of bricks, or something of sorts, and has a room at the top. The texture suggests this might be a photo of a screen displaying Minecraft, kind of like the Archive the Recover videos, which could mean this from the same person who made some of the Recover videos. The subtitles show a code that translates to, "It is going to happen again." Finally, the description features yet another code, which translates to the spire. A spire is a tall and slender building, and since it is capitalized, it's likely a name. I'll assume this means that the tower we've been seeing is called that, the spire. With all of this covered, we only have one thing left, the playlist in Archive 11. The first video is Archive... What's the deal with the number 11? The video seems to show the same image seen in Archive 11, the number 1, but in color. The colors let us notice a few wooden houses and some white ones surrounding the spire. The screen turns into a triangle thumbnail, and then this weird dark photo with a media not found icon. After the screen turns black, we see... Joy. This is an edited version of the Archive 5 image that includes a code. It translates to a single word, gone. Maybe we're supposed to pair this with the other one-word clue to make a phrase, all gone. The description includes another video that shifts into, "You can leave right now, but in the end, we will all be here again. You are not the first, and you will not be the last." You know, a lot of these clues point towards the idea that there's some kind of cycle that keeps repeating. The last video is recovered to the power of 13? The video starts with one of the images we saw in the previous one, and like, this music is upsetting me. I spent over an hour analyzing it, checking both output channels, reversing it, and editing it, but I didn't get anything to work with. It seems to be a drone ambient melody layered over a song, and I'm no music expert, but I think I hear drums, a guitar, and vocals. Also, it includes the same code that translates to all. As the video progresses, we can clearly see the shape of something. After the cut, we see... I think this is the same sound as the end of the last video. It seems to be some sort of chanting, I believe. They are heavy on repetition because the description also has the same code as last time, along with a YouTube link ID that leads to the pyramid playlist. Oh wait, no, this code is different. It says, "I am here." What in the world do you expect me to do? What information am I supposed to work with if you only try to aura farm with cryptic quotes? I swear to God, even Zero was clearer than this. Good grief. I'd love to know how to connect all of these clues, but how can I? Many of these videos are so isolated and cryptic. It feels like I have puzzle pieces, but each piece is from a different puzzle. How is there a normal looking world inside a confined space? Who is asking for help? What even is this facility? A prison doesn't have a spa room with a weirdly positioned chamber. Mental manipulation. Fake worlds. This isn't real. None of these worlds we saw in the archives were real. They're simulations made inside confined but realistic cages like the pyramid. Whoever H's, they trap not players but real people and force them to play in servers, likely using them for mental manipulation experiments. There's real cases of this too. Project MK Ultra, The CIA took prisoners, psychiatric patients, amongst others, and subjected them to inhumane experiments to test if they could break human minds and manipulate them. These aren't cages, they are sensory deprivation chambers. Subjects were forced into this and deprived of all senses. Similarly, some experiments involve tying subjects to chairs to deprive them of their senses. The destroyer is like the ones from the Montauk Project, which was a conspiracy theory saying that the government conducted experiments relating to mental manipulation and psychic powers. Particularly, there were theories talking about government-produced structures or spires used for mass mental manipulation. One discussed in the Montauk book series is the Delta T, which was an underground antenna supposedly used for reality warping experiments and mental manipulation. Remember, Delta is a triangle, specifically an upward-facing triangle. Why is this detail important? Well, earlier during the triangle Morse code puzzles, I mentioned that an upward-facing triangle was a dash, while an inverted one was a dot. The secret playlist in Archive 11 only has a triangle in the name, which has a double meaning. First, it represents delta, and second, it represents a single dash, which in Morse code translates to the letter T, thus making delta T, which might be related to the spiral we saw in the playlist. This whole channel is not documents from the experimenters, but from the victims. Someone somehow was able to record some of the times they were playing and posted it on YouTube. That's why the recordings were shaky and low quality. The videos that most directly call for help are the ones hidden inside playlists, because they can't afford for the experimenters to find them. The facility in Pyramid is a representation of the facility they are trapped in. When someone starts slipping out of control, they use torture methods to brainwash them and manipulate their memories, as we heard in the disc. Whenever someone is too broken to play, or worse, they get replaced. That's why we see a batch of new players in some scenes, and a different batch in others. The person recording is the same through two batches, and potentially more, as shown by the texture pack. They are stuck in a cycle of meeting new people, seeing them break due to these morbid experiments, getting introduced to new people, and the cycle repeats. An eternal reoccurrence.